Hi, and welcome back to the corrected version of GMT's Fields of Fire 2 by Ben Hull. Peleliu campaign, Mission 1, the initial assault, beach assault. So yeah, we're catching up with where we were when with the original playthrough, and we're on to turn 4. So, because we did the placements of the HQs, we actually have 3 HQs available now. We have the company first sergeant, the XO, and there is the gunnery sergeant on that underneath that pinned marker. So we have some level of control and not just reliant on general initiative now. We have also a bonus that came in last turn, which is the LVT-A4 amphibious tanks, which provide us with a heavy weapons fire marker, which will come in handy, seeing as this column here, which was for the MG platoon, we haven't got any of the MGs at all. The first team became casualties from an exploding LVT, and the second team was driven off in their LVT and won't form part of this this particular mission. So yeah, all in all, I think we're in reasonably good shape, although nothing like what we were in the original playthrough. But we can, I think we can live with it, and we should be able to prosper here. The idea here, I think, and this is being a little bit sneaky, a little bit gamey, is we want to push forward here from these 2 platoons so that we create some new contacts, which will mean when the company HQ comes through on this column, and I think it will be very shortly that they'll actually appear, that we're unlikely to get a contact which will jeopardize the company HQ, because once we lose that, we're in a lot of trouble. So yeah, I'll let me have a check to see if we have any more LVTs coming in, and place those if necessary. Right, so just check that, and it's actually turn 5 when the next wave will start to come in. So nothing for this turn. All we're going to get is the LVTs moving off. Excuse me. Right. So first thing, of course, in the turn we do is the battalion HQ. Do they contact us? No, they don't. There's no symbol there, HQ symbol with the field phone. So we go straight into our command phase. Well, let's look at the command display. Okay, so as usual, we activate our company HQ, and we'll see how many commands they have. +1 as usual for the veteran status of the COHQ. So we have 3 there. So we can get our COHQ, and we can add 3 commands to it. So who do we activate from here? So the XO, the first sergeant, and the gunnery sergeant are on the board. The COHQ is not. It's in the staging area. So therefore we we can't activate them. So we're left with the MG platoon HQ, first platoon HQ, mortar section, and the second and third. Now the second and third and the mortar section are at their maximum saved commands. They can't save any more commands because they are green. The first platoon is also at maximum because it's line, and they can only save 6. So really we've only got the MC platoon to activate to try and get some more commands into. So that's what we'll do. We'll move the company HQ down and complete it, and we will activate the MG platoon here. MG platoon HQ. As you see, all these HQs are still off the board. So let's draw for the MG platoon. The MG platoon is actually a veteran as well, so we add 1. And that's a pretty awful card. It's a 1 going to a 2. And again, so we don't really need to spend any commands, just save them. So we can move up to 9, which is the maximum for the MG platoon as well. So we're pretty much at maximum for everyone. Just the COHQ, which could also go up to 9, and it's about to turn up next turn anyway, so may start to be able to do things. Right, and that's our activation phase. We're then on to the initiative phase. So we should really only worry about the XO, the gunnery sergeant and the first sergeant. These will become available in the initiative segment, and they get 1 command each automatically. We don't actually pull a card for them. But having done that, they are available to spend commands on the troops around them. So we will switch back to the map and see what we want to do with them. Right, so here we are on the map. And the first thing we should really do is to put activation markers on the LVTs. Okay, no, we don't put them onto the LVTA force. They're a tank platoon in their own right. They actually could be get an initiative draw as well. I forgot about them, and I'll do them in a minute. But all they're really going to do is move a step forward, because this is slow terrain for tanks, as you can see in these cards. So they can't really move more than 1 space anyway. But back to where we were, we're looking at the first sergeant, the XO, and the gunnery sergeant, which I believe is under here somewhere. There we are, the gunnery sergeant's there, pinned. Right, so let's, I think we'll do the gunnery sergeant first here. So the first thing I want to do is probably unpin the gunnery sergeant. So it's going to give himself an order to unpin, and with that it's a 2 card, of course, +1 because the gunnery sergeant team is actually a veteran, and what we're looking for here is a rally, and straight up we get a rally, a blank and a cover as well, but the rally will do, and that will mean we can remove the pin marker just from the gunnery sergeant. So we're happy there. That now frees him up to do a lot more things. And I think the first thing he'll probably order is for the assault team here to throw a grenade at the Spider Holes Japanese squad here. If you remember, they're here. They've been pinned by the automatic fire from the assault team, and now we're going to get them to lob a grenade. So we need to pull some cards. So it's 2 cards again for the grenade draw, because they're line. So there's no addition for veteran for them. All assault teams are line, and we're looking for the grenade symbol. So that's not a grenade symbol, and neither is that. Okay, that costs us the command. I will actually spend another command to do an exhort, which is I think I can do that for a grenade. Let me just check that. Yeah, I don't see why I can't do that. So it's an extra card to draw, and again we're looking for the grenade symbol. We don't get it. So when we fail to do a grenade attack, it doesn't have no effect. What it does mean is we have a grenade miss. So we take a VOF marker, which I will find, if I can find one. and it was just lurking off camera just there. So that's the normal grenade VOF. On the back is a grenade miss. So this, it gets placed on the card, and the grenade miss actually affects everybody on the card. So there's an automatic -1 for everybody because the grenade has missed. Now normally the defender can make a grenade attack back automatically, as long as they're not pinned. These are pinned, that's why I went for doing that, because I knew that nothing was going to come back at me. But in actual fact, the grenade that we threw has partially come back on us anyway. So we're down to 1 order for the gunnery sergeant, and he's only going to get 1 a turn, so I think I might preserve that. So it looks like we need to do more stuff there, but I'm not sure we'll be able to. So I'll finish his activation. Let's look at the first sergeant then. First sergeant is over here, and I mentioned that what I wanted to do was to get some units to advance forward here onto the dunes and see if we can get some potential contacts up. So to do that, we actually, as luck would have it, have an assault team here, which is just right for the job. And so the first sergeant will spend a command. He has 4, get down to 3, to order the assault team ahead. It will then have an exposed marker, and that's one of his command. What else can we do here? So we have our 2 squads here from 1st platoon. We also have a paralysed team underneath the wreck of an LVT there. What else could we do here? Not sure there's a lot I want to do yet, to be honest. I'd rather leave the advance here to the XO, so I think we'll just save the commands there. So leaves the first sergeant on 3 commands. Finally, the XO in the middle also has 4 commands available, and we don't have an assault team here, so I think the best thing to do, if we could, the first thing I think we will order for the XO is for the casualties here to be loaded up onto the LVT, and this counts as taking us to a casualty clearing station. That will be 2 orders for 2 loads here. I believe we need the orders to do that. Let me have a look. It says casualties may be embarked, but not on turn 4. It had to be turn 3. So we can't actually do that. Let's pull that back. So what else will the XO do? Well, we need to move somebody forward. We have a full squad here, so we are going to detach another assault team, I think, here, and we'll place that. And here we have one here. So that's 1 command to do that, and then another to move it forward again. So we move on to that card and we put an exposed marker onto it. That leaves the XO with 2 commands. I think we'll leave it at that. So yeah, let's go with that. So now we're back onto, we're onto the tank platoon. So the tank platoon will actually get a command draw. It's currently on 0 commands. So let's see what it gets. So that's 4 commands on the initiative number. That's very good. And we will order itself. We're presuming it's in, let me shift it down. these two here that this is the tank platoon leader and this is the other. So it'll order itself and this other tank platoon forward into, well, it'll activate them actually. That's true. Let's think about this, because we actually only move in the vehicle phase. So let's activate those two, and that's what happens at this point. So tank platoon saves 2 of the commands, and we're on to general initiative. So a general initiative, so we have 2 commands to play with. Now what we could do is something over here. We could unpin again, possibly the squad here. But the assault team is doing sterling stuff here, and I think I'm not sure what else we could do here other than maybe throw another grenade. And well, yes, I mean we could do that. We only have 2 commands though. What else could we do? Well, up here we could get these 2 guys to use their initiative to try and seek cover. Actually, no, they don't need to do that. I've just realised we had the trenches here, so they could automatically move into the trenches when they moved forward. So that's taken care of actually there. Taken care of very well. So I think what we might try is to unpin that squad there, not the fire team. We'll unpin that squad, and that's the first. That's the first squad. So that is actually veteran. So he gets 3 cards, looking for a rally to get rid of the pinned result, and turns up immediately. We have 2 rallies there and a cover, so that's great. So remove the pin from that unit. I think it's just got its rifle grenade and its smoke with it. So what we can do is we can put this fire team under the pinned marker, stack them all up as pinned, which is great, and remove that pin marker altogether. And this squad, I could then, as it's a veteran, we will then try and throw a grenade again with this squad. So that's 3 cards again, and it's veteran, and we're looking for the grenade symbol. That's not the symbol we were after, and we have a grenade symbol. Brilliant. And that was an infiltrate one. So we have the grenade symbol. We get to place a grenade VOF on the Japanese infantry in the spider holes. So here we are, we have the grenade, and remember, as it's an American grenade, it's -4 in effect. So we'll place that up here. And that's some good use of initiative, I think. That's our 2 initiative commands possible. And so we end our command phase completely, and it's over to the Japanese for the HQ and then the activity check for the enemy unit. So let's look for an HQ effect, and we do get one, interestingly enough. So let's look on the 10 randomizer to see what we get. And on the 10 randomizer we have a 2. We look that up, and for a 2, bring this around to the camera. So up here we are on mission 1, and a 2 under mission 1 is the top column. So the top column is evacuate casualties. So all casualties and non-US occupied cards are removed. They haven't got any casualties yet. We haven't touched them, so therefore that's not going to help us or help them. Not going to affect anything. So we can ignore that higher HQ call. And so we're on to the enemy activity check, and we are looking at the pinned rifle squad here, which has been subject to quite a few grenades, and Luckily enough, one of them seems to be landing where it needs to be. So as it's pinned, we don't use the standard defensive charts, defensive activity chart, enemy defensive activity charts here. We actually use the LAT pinned chart here. So let's have a look at that and see what they're going to do. Okay, so looking from the top, so instead of the attitude of the defense, we had a deliberate defense called for by the scenario, we have a leader or no leader on card column. So a leader is actually a unit in the game. It's a team in the game, rather like our HQs, and they will affect the troops around them. We have no leader here, so we're on this here. We firstly have a pinned non-undercover on a US occupied card. Not quite, they are undercover, and this one here is if you're undercover on a US occupied card. Under no leader, we're then looking at this chart. So we're drawing randomizer on 5, and we've got no action, which is just far away as a pinned unit. Rally, attempt to get rid of the pin, or fall back, which will be to remove. They effectively run backwards away from the Americans. So let's see what happens with the draw of the card. And looking on the 5 on the randomizer, we get a 3, and that, I believe, was rally. Yes, that's correct. So there's a rally attempt, so it doesn't mean they automatically get rid of the pin. They draw 2 cards, as usual, because they're a line. Quality unit, and they are looking for the rally word. So we have a blank, all well and good so far, and a cover. So they fail. They fail to get rid of the pin marker, which is okay, I suppose. If they would have improved their small arms fire, which actually that should now be turned over to all pinned. It's a much worse fire. That would have turned back to small arms. However, they would have lost the +1, which they think they're going to desperately need with that grenade landing on them. So that's the enemy activity check done. So we're down to the retreat and capture phase. So we over here with cards with a VOF on, the only teams we have paralysed and litter teams here are still pinned, so they won't do anything. And now we're on to the vehicles. So with the vehicles, we can move the LVTs back off the board. So these LVTs here, here, and here move off the board, and the ones over here will move on to these cards as they start to withdraw. They'll keep the pin marker because there was still fire on this card. We can turn these to moved fired, and then now we have as we have the tank platoon activate these 2 tanks, these may move forward. So we I think we will move this one forward here, and we will move this one forward here. And my gunnery sergeant seems to have retreated when he shouldn't have. He should be over there unpinned. This means that tank will get the potential contact call here. All well and good. We want some contacts now because we'll have our HQ coming into this potential contact C next turn, and we want to not find anything about to attack our CO HQ. Right, and that's really our movement from the vehicles, and so we can now then move on to the combat phase. First thing in the combat phase, remove incoming fire markers, but there aren't any of those. Then we move to potential contacts. So we have an A here, here, and here are the 3 that we need to resolve. We'll resolve them on a randomizer 1, 2, or 3 in the order that comes up. So looking at the 3, we have number 3, and that will be, these should be turned over, moved fired. This potential contact here. So we are currently under contact because we have one VOF. So we will, I believe, pick up 7 cards for an A. So let's put those 7 cards up. And again, we kind of want the contact to come up. Although possibly, well, when it's facing a tank, yeah, why not? Okay, so let's have a look, and we're looking for the word contact. So we have a blank, have another blank, a third blank, doing kind of well so far, a cover, another blank, we've got 2 cards left, we get the contact, and the last card was a blank. So 1 contact came up in 7. That's fine, as I kind of wanted it to happen. So this potential contact here we need to resolve on the randomizer and then check the chart for that's row 2. So on the 10 randomizer we have number 10. Okay, so let's see what we have for number 10. And here, if we look at the chart, hopefully it's in focus. Number 10 is a pillbox. So that's a heavy machine gun team in a pillbox. That is not spotted and a maximum range or line of sight if possible. Okay, so the next thing we need to do to find out where this pillbox is going to be situated is to check, I think, with a randomizer of 5 on the placement. And oh, hang on, I think I did that wrong, didn't I? It's not necessarily that. We pull the 10 out and then we look on the chart rather than look of the potential contacts, rather than look straight onto the force packages. So it's not automatically a 10 means it's package 10. We look what 10 causes on this chart here, so apologies for that. And 10, nope, that's a different campaign. That's the right one. We'll get this sorted very shortly, and we're looking for number 10. Actually comes out as 9 instead, so it's not the pillbox. Let's redo that. And number 9 comes out as a strong point. So a strong point is an LMG team in a bunker and a squad in a trench. Okay, again, hidden, but it has to be close. So it has to be an adjacent card. That the bunker and the squad in the trench is there. So that's quite a lot of stuff. And from here, it could be any one of these 3 cards. So let's draw the randomizer to find out which it is. So I think it's on the 5, and we have a 1. Now I believe the 1 will end up being the left front. I'll just check that. And we are on column 3. And indeed, left front is the number 1. So that's where it is. So interestingly enough, it's actually on this card. So I'll get the pieces together and place that. Okay, so just looking up a few things. Firstly, because there is an American unit here, we can't place the units on that card. So they would have to be in these 2. So we need to redraw the randomizer on that. Also, the squad in the trench and the bunker need to be in different cards. So they're in adjacent cards, they're not actually on the same card. So let's just check the randomizer again for the bunker to see where it goes. And on the 5, very persistently, it's a 1, which is left front again, which it can't be. We'll draw again. It's a 2, and I think that's the same again. We're getting through the deck here just to try and find out where it's going. 2 again, and we must be getting close to the reshuffle marker. We have a 4, so 4 I believe is right front, so the bunker is here and will orient itself that way, and we'll have a PDF marker running this way onto this card. It's firing at the tank, and it's an LMG, so it has an A automatic weapons. However, it cannot concentrate fire. That's a special rule for the Japanese LMGs, because they were quite light as far as light machine guns go. So we need an automatic weapons VOF for that card there. And of course the squad needs to be next to it, and so therefore it will be here in this trench. Now the other thing of course is that these are both hidden. There is fire coming from here as well, so place another PDF marker. And the result of the 2 parts of the fire, we'll put the potential comma covering the bunker. Because there's 2 directions of fire coming into the card, this qualifies for a crossfire as well. So we'll place that marker on top there. Hopefully the tank should be butch enough to deal with that. Here's hoping. The one other thing, of course, is we now have 2 enemies, and also an enemy on the same card. So that switches us straight to heavily engaged. So that's great, which means that the other contacts may not appear. Which is very nice for up here actually, and it's kind of worked out for us. So yeah, we've got these 2 A's still to resolve, so let's do that. Where are we? The A's, oh hang on, what was I doing? So an A, let me put that card back. So an A with heavily engaged is 3 cards, so we're not going to get there with here. We have 1 card and the reshuffle, so let me just do that reshuffle for us. I've just realised that actually the reshuffle wasn't the last card. We'd actually pulled it earlier, and I forgot to actually do the reshuffle, so oops, oh well. We'll just have to live with that. So let me shuffle this, pick out 2 more cards for the draw. To easily overlook several things in the game. So 2 more cards for actually, yeah, getting myself confused here. So the card we picked out here would be for which of the 2 cards something it is. So just positioning on the randomizer. So we're actually on the 2, and that was a 1. So that's 1. So it's on here. Now we can do 3 cards to see if they turn up, and we're looking for again a contact. We have rally, and blank, so nothing there. Great, so this potential contact marker A is removed, and we effectively own that card now. Brilliant. Well done, the assault team. So we're left with this A. It's the only one left to resolve, so we have 3 cards for that. And the 3 cards, again looking for contact, we get the reshuffle. That's fine. We'll do the draw anyway, so I'll add a card to the 3, and we have a rally, a blank, and a cover, so no contact there either. So I'll do the reshuffle, the early reshuffle here. Mind you, I got the other one very, very late, and then we shall then move off to get rid of that. Actually, we can do that now. Potential contact marker goes as well. And we're on to the combat effects. I'll just do the reshuffle now. Right, on with the combat effects. So firstly here, this is just a tank, and it's only actually a combat is resolved only in the vehicle phase, which we've already done. So nothing happens here, even though the expenditure has been done by the LMG here. So we'll mark off an ammo for that. Over here, different story. So I think simplest thing to do is to actually resolve the Japanese unit first. So there's a lot of EOF markers here. So what we're looking at is an automatic weapons fire from the assault team, but we do have a grenade which exceeds it. So we start off with a -4 on the grenade. We make it -5 with the grenade miss as well. Then we add the terrain of the card, so that's back to -4 +1. The pinned, which gives us another +1, so it's -3. And then we have the foxholes here, which is another +1. So we're on -2 for that resolution. So let's cross our fingers and see what happens to the squad. So a -2 is just a pin. Gosh, okay. Well, we preserve the pin, but nothing much else happens. We can remove that grenade now. The pin stays, and we are as you were. Okay, so let's resolve the fire coming from the Japanese. So it's all the units firing are pinned, just the one of them. So we start off with a +2. We will add a +1 for the card, +3, and then any other modifiers we need to do. So let's start with the assault team. So I think it's a bare +3 for the assault team, and we'll pick a card for that. Oh, actually it's +2 because of the grenade miss. Everybody gets that. So it's +2, and +2 is a miss. So the grenade, the assault team is fine. Let's look at the gunnery sergeant over here, and again that's on a +2. So a +2 is a pin. So the gunnery sergeant is now pinned. Let's just place him on the pin marker for the moment. There may be more. The squad here. Again, +2. So +2, we are pinned as well. So hey, that entire stack is now pinned, like it was a while ago. And then we're looking at the fire team, and the litter team, and the paralysed team here. So 3 cards to go. So the fire team we're looking at, that's +3 now because they were pinned. And on the +3, we also have a pin. Okay, still pinned for the fire team. For the litter team, +3. We finally get a miss for all these pluses. So the litter team is no longer pinned. And the paralysed team on a +3 is a miss as well. So pretty much our most useless teams are fine, except for the assault team. We were fine with that. So we can just put the fire team on this pile here and remove this pin marker, and so we have the assault team, the litter team, and paralysed team here, and everything else is pinned. That's not great, shall we say. It's not a great result. I had high hopes of the grenade attack on the infantry and the spider holes, but that doesn't seem to have done very much. And we've ended up with pretty much everybody useful other than the assault team being pinned on our own side. Ho-hum. Right, so that's the combat phase over. We just have cleanup left. So we can remove the moved fired markers and also the pin markers that aren't relevant anymore, and also the exposed markers, which is nice. So that pin marker stays. It's done in the vehicle phase. Over here we're fine. Just up here with these 2 exposed, assault teams. Lucky enough, we've been able to get off the beach unscathed into these two spots, which puts us very close to our objectives here. All very good. And next turn, we'll be looking to move these the rest of the squads here forward, so they've got an attack position here to work with. Possibly helped with the tank unit here. That tank unit will have to survive some automatic fire. We also need to try and spot these two as well, so we can bring them under fire, and hopefully at some point get rid of this infantry unit stuck on this card, which is causing us a lot of pain. Right, that's it for the turn. Next turn the HQs will turn up, so that's something to look forward to. So hopefully I will see you on the next mission. Next turn on this mission, and that'll be turn 5. So bye for now.